Purchase your I Am Melanin Magic products today.
I Am Melanin Magic. If you want long locks,
luscious hair, radiant skin, want to look and feel good,
then I Am Melanin Magic is your brand.
I Am Melanin Magic,
and so are you. Welcome to Tunisia's Locs, Beauty Tips, and Potpourri, the channel where we get it all in. You can also learn more about the I Am Melanin Magic brand. Thank you for stopping by. Locks are a beautiful hairstyle. Whether you have Sisterlocks, Microlocks, or Tiny Locks, if you stay with this journey, you're going to find a lot more hair freedom than what you might have experienced prior to even getting on the bus with a natural hairstyle like this. Our locks are small, giving us a lot more versatility. If you are able to keep your locks healthy, then you have abundant hair. You are not going to suffer the dryness and the breaking from relaxers and a lot of other things that you might be used to having experienced prior to getting on the natural hair care wagon or having a natural hairstyle similar to Sisterlocks, Microlocks, or Tiny Locks. So I always like to say, never have a bad hair day. All right, because no matter what you do, down to not doing anything at all, you're going to find that you always feel good, you always look good, and the hair is the last thing you have to worry about. Most mornings I get up, I might spend 2 minutes on my hair. I might just do this. Some mornings, if I've had it like this the day before, pinned back or something, I may not do anything. I just get on up. I might shake it out. So generally speaking, on a day-to-day basis, there's very little maintenance with a Sisterlocks, a Microlocks, or Tiny Locks hairstyle. But there are going to be days where you're going to want some variation, and you're going to want to take advantage of the versatility that this hairstyle provides because you have these tiny little locks here, all right? And it's kind of a cheat code in a way to traditional locks, but it gives you a very finished look. It gives you the ability to pull your hair up, to style it in just about any way. I've seen people actually, remember how we used to wrap our hair and have it going this way? I've seen people do that. I've seen people use a curling iron with this hairstyle. I've seen them do all sorts of things. While this hairstyle gives you a lot of versatility, you do have to be careful of what it is you decide to do to beautify your locks. Namely, when trying to add different looks to your hair styling repertoire. Usually it's curls. Some people will do the cornrows. Some people will do the updos. But a lot of times when you see people with Sisterlocks, if they're not just hanging straight, usually they've decided to put some curls in them. Any type of styling that you do with your Sisterlocks, Microlocks, or Tiny Locks has the potential to get out of hand if you're styling all the time. It also has the potential to contribute to hair loss, hair thinning, extra tension on the hair, so forth and so on. So you want to style irregularly. You guys have heard me say a lot on the channel when it comes to some of the natural, risky type rituals that are a part of this hairstyle. And that's because you have these tiny locks, and constant stress on the locks, whether you realize they're being stressed or not, has a consequence. And the consequence oftentimes can be thinning. It can be locks falling out. It can be locks thinning. I think I said thinning. Locks falling out, unevenness in your locks, drying of your locks if you're putting a lot of things on them to style them, like a lot of setting lotions or setting lotions that are very have a lot of alcohol in them or are very drying. But there are a lot of things that can happen down to the destruction of your follicles just by way of repeated stress. You'll find people that have brother locks, men that have brother locks that deal with less loss than we women do. And by and large, that has to do with the way that we manipulate our hair. We over manipulate it. So although styling can be fun, it's still something that you want to do on a level or at intervals that doesn't constantly subject your hair to styling stress. If you are wearing your hair braided up constantly, if you're doing updos constantly, if you're doing a braid out constantly, over time it's going to stress your hair. Maybe it would not as much if you weren't also getting the retightenings, but the retightenings are necessary evil. There's something that you're having to do to your hair just to keep the style. So that in and of itself can be stressful enough without the added styling stress. So when you decide to style your hair, before I get into the braid outs, keep in mind that you want to do it infrequently. You want to have your styles last as long as they can if you like curls and things like me. I love curls, but I don't do it anywhere near as much as I used to. I'm also getting longer in my journey. I've been around for 10 years, and I have to be careful. I've done a lot of other things to create extra stress for my hair, so I have to be careful. But I would say, for the most part, with many of the more popular styles that you can put on your Sisterlocks or your Microlocks or your Tiny Locks, compared to many of the things that you can do, I think the braid out is less stressful. Maybe not less stressful than all of the different alternatives, but it has less stress, say, than pipe cleaners, and I love pipe cleaners. It may have less stress than other things that you may be doing in order to get curls in your hair, primarily because it's just you plaiting your hair. You can control the tension a lot more, and you can still have nice curls. So if you want curls, if you want an easy hairstyle, if you want something that's not going to take you forever to do it, if you want a curling option that doesn't require a lot of skill and it requires something that you've probably been doing all your life, which is plaiting your hair, do a braid out. Because even with the braid out, you can determine how tight you pull. You can determine, where you want it to start. Let's say I want it to be tight at the end. I can get someone to hold this to prevent the pulling on my scalp, or I can, do what you saw me just do. The point of the whole situation is just that it's a styling option. It gives you some curls for several days or longer, depending upon how much setting lotion you use and how wet your hair is. That's going to look beautiful, and that can be somewhat more protective than, say, corn rolling your hair, which is going to require it to be pulled really tight, doing an updo that requires twisting or corn rolling, maybe even using pipe cleaners and some other things. This is just my personal opinion. This may not necessarily apply to you, but I'm someone that could do curls every single day simply because of the versatility and look that they give me, but I don't, because I try to minimize the frequency with which my hands are in my hair, because I know I've got to do these regular retightenings. They in and of themselves create stress, and my locks are very long, which means I've been at this journey for a while, which means on some level, although it may not apply to everybody, or this may not necessarily be the case 100%, on some level my hair has undergone more stress because I've had the locks for longer. My locks are actually longer in length, they carry more weight, and I've had more retightenings. Okay, so these are just some of the things that I want you to keep in mind when you start thinking about, how can I get curls? How do I want to do curls? Do I want to use sponge rollers? Do I want to use these other types of rollers that they have? Do I want to use the pipe cleaners? Do I want to do a braid out? Just know that this is the easiest and probably one style where you can control more of the pulling on your scalp than some of the other styles. So anyway, this is the braid out that I did today, and I'm just going to share with you a couple of things that I did. And if you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to like or share, and I'll see you around. Okay, and we are going to go over just the basic things you're going to want to know if you want to do a braid out. Now, I washed my hair last night and I decided I wanted a little bit of curls, but I didn't feel like all the work of the pipe cleaners, which you know are my favorite, or the Wrap-A-Lot tool, or the sponge rollers, or something else. And so I decided, let me go ahead and do some braid outs, or do a braid out on my locks. Now, there's a difference in this and the other things that you may have seen me use on the channel as a tool to get a little bit of curl or wave or spirals. The pipe cleaners are my favorite when I want a wrinklet or a spiral-like curl. Wrap-A-Lot tool will do the same thing. I just don't find it as easy to work with. The sponge rollers give you more bounce, give you that more feminine, light look, just full and voluminous. This will give you lazy waves, I like to say. Lazy waves because it's the easiest of all of them to do. And there are just a few things you need to make sure you're mindful of. The smaller the braid, the smaller the wave pattern, okay? Or the braid look, the braided look. The more that you use a setting lotion, I happen to use just a tiny bit of Lotta Body, and I forgot to put it in until the end. And so I took about a half an ounce of Lotta Body. I filled a bottle up with about 2 ounces of water, and I just sprayed on the hair after it was already plaited. I'm going to suggest, if you want the type of curls that are going to last you longer, say like 1 to 2 weeks, you're going to want to make sure that, number one, your hair is a little damp after washing it, all right, and that you use a setting lotion of some type. And I'm going to say Lotta Body because it's a setting lotion that's really popular. You can get it from your standard beauty supply store, and it also does not flake. I haven't found it to flake. Now, I do always add a little bit of water before putting it on my locks because I'm very particular about my locks, all right? But it works well and it's going to go a long ways. You don't have to wash your hair before you decide to do a braid out, but the braid out will hold better if you do wash your hair. Now, last night, I went to bed pretty late and I knew I had to get up very early this morning. And so I almost dried my hair entirely, but I also know it still has the imprint of a washing, so I'm still going to get a little bit more of a hold. But if you know you're going to be able to keep your hair braided for, you know, anywhere from 10 to 12 hours, go ahead and allow it to be a little damp or spritz it with water before you get ready to get started with it. If you're going to wash it before you start to braid it, go ahead and detangle. If you're a few weeks after having your last retightening, it's going to be important to just make sure that there are no combined locks. I oiled my hair in the scalp once I had the plaits in. I will go back this morning and wow, of all days, I don't have my, what happened to it? That's crazy as heck. What? Here it is. I'll go back and I'll just spray a little bit with a little bit of I Am Melanin Magic. And when you use I Am Melanin Magic, you guys, if you are the ones, if you all are the type that don't like a lot of oil, make sure you put it directly on the scalp. Don't spray it to where it hits the hair. Put it directly on the scalp in that particular area and just massage it in. Again, this is the I Am Melanin Magic Oil. This is my premium blend for my natural skin and hair care products, which you can find on IamMelaninMagic.com. But I go back and I will do this in a very strategic way, in a very ordered fashion, to make sure that I get all areas and that nothing is tangled. And if I decide that I want to do like this and just coat my strands, I'll do that as well. I don't do that anywhere near as much as I used to, mostly because I'm not dyeing my hair anymore. And also because my hair care needs have changed somewhat. I used to put damn near half a bottle on my locks. Okay, you don't want to weigh them down, and whenever you use the I Am Melanin Magic Oil, when you do decide to shampoo, you want to make sure you do a thorough shampoo. And that's when you're doing anything with your hair. You want to make sure you're getting it clean, okay? So you want to keep this in mind. You want to also keep in mind that it's not going to last forever, but you should be able to get about, at a minimum, even if you do a lazy set, you should be able to get about 4 or 5 days. The other thing you want to be mindful of when you are plaiting the hair, I probably had no more than about 12 in my hair. I did big, probably about, I would say they were sort of large sections, probably like this. If you plait it directly like this, it's going to pull on your hair. All right, so you want to lift it up a bit and plait it at an angle so that when it falls, you have some give in there. This to me is the least at-risk way to get, oh, my washing machine, what's going on? This is the least at-risk way to get curls, all right? Because you get to control the tension on your hair a little bit easier than if you were using, say, the pipe cleaners. But what you want to do is you just want to make sure that you do sections that are not just grabbed at random, where you're pulling hair that should be in different sections. That's going to minimize the pulling. So you want to get a fairly square section of your hair, and you just want to start, you can start here even and plait down. Okay, but if you decide to plait higher up, just be careful because you don't want that extra pulling on your hair. And as I said, you do want to make sure that you give your hair a little bit of lift. All right, you don't have to tie the ends with rubber bands to hold them. If you decide to, you can. If your hair is very uneven, you may want to consider that. If for some reason you don't want to pull the ends of your hair and they're very fragile, then don't do that. Then do that. Then you can add a rubber band or two to the bottom, and that'll keep you from having to pull too much of the hair in as you're braiding it down. But as you can see, the curls look really nice. Okay, again, that's a lot of body setting lotion. Okay, depending upon how thick your hair is, you'll use anywhere from 12 to maybe even 20 different plaits, depending upon how small you want them. If you want the braids to be in smaller, or you want smaller curls, wet your hair more and braid in smaller sections, okay? If you like the top fuller, turn your hair over this way and braid down into the hair like this and stack them this way. And that way, when you take them out, you'll get more lift in this area. Now, I didn't do that, but I've done that in the past before, and you're going to get a lot more lift. And you're going to find that you can do a lot of different things depending upon where you start the braid and how far you take it up. The further up to your scalp you take the braid, the more bouffant and the more voluminous your hair is going to be. If you just want ends that are curly, then start at about halfway down. All right, but it's the easiest way to get curls. It's one of the safest ways, if you ask me, because you get to control the tension. And you can leave it in as long as you want, longer if you braid your hair while it's damp or wet, and also if you make sure that you make them nice and small. So as you can see, I get to have some fun. They look good. Let me show you the back. You hear me talk about all the time the fact that Sisterlocks or Microlocks are an at-risk style. I'll always say that because of the retightenings and the way we women keep our hands in our hair. So when you do decide you want a little bit of a curl, it's going to always be to your advantage to just, not style as often. And when you do style, have a style that's going to put less stress on your hair. We're not as much concerned about the ends, although we still are, as we are the root and putting extra tension and pressure up here. All right, I got one back here in the back, and that was a little one. And always check the back of your hair before you're done, because you're bound to leave out a few locks or two as you go through the process. So hopefully this video will help you to go and take the plunge and do your own braid out, have a little bit of fun. This is something you can do at home in less than 30 minutes, literally. And it's a style that will last for days. You'll love it, and the people who see you will love it as well. And for those of you who are interested in getting the hair and skin care serums, or the serums for chill out, or inflammation, that help ease inflammation, go to IamMelaninMagic.com. IamMelaninMagic.com and order your supplies there. I love you guys. If you have not purchased my Manifesting Your Masterpiece book, you can get it on Amazon. Just type in Manifesting Your Masterpiece. It's a set of daily mindset reflections that are here to help you up-level your life. They help you to get clear on where you are in your life. They provide a contrast. And they also give you something to reflect on and think about, and a task to do or a question to ask yourself with regard to clearing energetic blocks and things that might be keeping you from manifesting your best life or getting a larger slice of life. So you're with Tanisha Ali of Tanisha's Locks, Beauty Tips, and Potpourri. You can find me here. You can find me on my Butterfly Transformations channel. I'm also on TikTok, albeit irregularly, under I Am Melanin Magic. And I am also on Instagram under, I believe it's Tanisha's Locks, but I'm not really on there regularly. This is my platform of preference, YouTube here, and my handle is @Tanisha Ali. Thanks again for your time. Enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Live passionately, be peaceful, be productive, because you are prospering. Hey ladies, do you love the way your skin looks and feels? I know I do, because I am using the I Am Melanin Magic Anti-Aging Serum. And at 50, I love the way my skin looks and feels. This blend is bomb. It renews, revitalizes, rejuvenates, soothes, conditions, moisturizes, tones, brightens, and fades all in one step. So if you're ready to get your glow on, go get you some I Am Melanin Magic Anti-Aging Serum.
If you are not using I Am Melanin Magic hair oil, then what are you using?
Hey guys, so I started using this oil called I Am Melanin Magic since February of this year, and check out the new growth. Like, it's insane. Not only did it help with my new growth, but it smells amazing too.
See the dramatic improvements Tanisha has made after not having hair around her edges for 3 years. Tanya's hair had been like this for almost 20 years, and while getting injections. Her doctor said it was scarred and would never grow back. After 4 weeks of using I Am Melanin Magic, this is what she looked like. I Am Melanin Magic did this to Danette's hair after a short time. Hi, I'm the creator of the I Am Melanin Magic hair and skincare brand. My vision has always been to develop a line of products that meets the unique needs of melanated people. The I Am Melanin Magic hair oil is our premier product. It is the leading high-end supplement for your mane.
It reduces breakage, promotes growth, and can be used on all hair types and looks, from straightened hair and microlocks to wigs and protective styles. It's antifungal, antibacterial, and anti-funk, so you know you're protected.
It softens and conditions your hair, and it's anti-frizz too.
This really is all you need. It's rich with antioxidants, loaded with growth-promoting ingredients. Look at the growth of my hair. The proof is in the product. Need I say more? Don't delay. Purchase yours today.
I Am Melanin Magic, and so are you.